another lighthouse picture. Gotta fix my shirt. So I don't talk much in this video. I started chatting with you guys, and then I guess I got so into the painting that I forgot to talk. But anyway, you can tell what that is, lighthouse, and it looks like a storm is coming, and the seas are a little bit rough. And if there's one thing, if you scrub through it and you don't see it, I did use a tissue. In some of the areas, I would wet the already applied watercolor, and then I would kind of dab it around and kind of create that look of crashing waves. It's probably the only thing I did that's out of the norm for myself. Everything else is just straightforward painting. And you know, I don't even have a poem in today's, but I'm going to try to find some real pretty music to put behind this. And if you watch the whole thing, then you'll see how I did this. But even if you don't, if you watch, scrub through it, fast forward through it, or just look at the ending. I do that a lot when I'm watching other artists. I'll look at the beginning, and then I'll do a couple of areas in between just to see if I can pick up a tip or two, because I'm learning just like you are. So anyway, I don't know what lighthouse this is. You might be able to identify it. I found it online I just put lighthouse in a storm, and that picture came up. So I thought, well, let me the photograph that I used as a reference photo came up, so I thought I would use that and paint this, and it came out relatively similar to the photo I found. But it's Sunday and I gotta go. Robin and I are getting ready for church, so maybe that's part of why I wasn't talking. I was kind of trying to hurry, which is never good. It's never good to hurry. But I got up later than I normally like to. All right, thank you for watching and for commenting, and I'll show you this and just have a great day. All right, let's sketch this one out. So this, of course, is a lighthouse. We have the top. I've done a lighthouse before. There's something about lighthouses that intrigue me. And yesterday's painting was a boat in the storm. And I was thinking, what would the boat, back in those days, the ship, what would it be looking for? And we'll be looking for that lighthouse, I think. I don't really know when lighthouses first started as a means to help sailors navigate their ships. We have quite a few lighthouses here in Florida. They're all different sizes, and it's pretty fascinating, actually. I've gone to the top of the one in St. Augustine. Robert and I climbed the stairs on that one. And I feel like I've been to the one in Ponce Inlet. I've been to it, but not up in it. So. And by the way, somebody once, with a previous painting I did of a lighthouse, they told me that they posted a message on under the video that the tower, the part I'm drawing right now, the tower is not the lighthouse. The lighthouse is the house next to the tower. I don't know. Everybody always calls these lighthouses, but you guys might know more than me. And I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't some technical thing about this. What I do know is that the way they're painted and the way they're designed is a way for the sailors to tell where they are, which lighthouse it is based on the painting. So this has got a little bit of, let's see, this has got a large area of red and then some white. Oh, and then some red up here too that I missed. White, so red, a little bit of red, then some white, then some red, then some white, then some red, then some white. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it, Mr. Got it. And this windows, what was cool in the lighthouse we climbed in St. Augustine were the windows. Why I think they were cool is because they let in light, and the staircase was lit. The staircase was, I guess, on the spooky side a little bit. You know why? Because they say it's haunted. Now, I'm not saying it is haunted. I'm saying they say it's haunted. And whether it is or not, I don't know. But when somebody tells you someplace is haunted, what happens to you mentally is you start to think, oh, this is spooky, even though maybe there's nothing really spooky about it. So I thought I would share that. Now there's a house on the other side of this lighthouse, and it's visible right here, and you can see the other side of it right here. You know, the other lighthouse I saw was Barnegat is that what it's called? Up in Long Beach Island in New Jersey. Again, I saw that one, but I didn't go in it. In fact, when Rob and I went to that lighthouse, it had scaffolding around it because it was being renovated. And so we took pictures of it. In fact, we did some plein air painting there, and it was not a rainy day, but it was a drizzly day, which made it difficult for plein air painting. But we did anyway. Did some of that. It was part of a show, actually. They were having a plein air painting show up in New Jersey, and Rob and I went to it. And I put I think I put 4 pieces into that show. There's a little fence here. And then there's a lighthouse in Montauk Point on Long Island, which I've never been to, but I grew up on Long Island. So I've known about that lighthouse forever. And I know some people who live very close to it. So I've often thought I should visit there and let them know I'm in the area. Maybe have a cup of coffee or something together with them. Yeah, hang out a little bit. So this is kind of the rocky area that the lighthouse is on. It is nice to do a painting without having to sketch it, but I really feel like something that's a defined thing, like a lighthouse or a ship in yesterday's case. I feel like those things should be sketched out a little bit, work them out a little bit so that you're kind of ready for it. I want this to be a stormy day. I want this to be sort of a rough sea day, I guess. Put a little horizon right there. Right there. There's the horizon. There we go. I guess that's all. And then there'll be some waves here and some waves here and some clouds there. All right, so let's do the lighthouse first. I think I'm just going to do basic stuff. Just basic. So we want the light to be coming from the left side. So we're going to keep as much of that white as possible. Keep the red areas light red, and then we'll put the darker red on the other side. Just get started. Yeah, it's got to start somewhere. This isn't the best brush for that. Let me get a smaller brush. A smaller, more precision brush. Here's one. A brush with more precision. We'll come and make this darker later on. There we go. All right, this layer is also red. I'll get it darker on this side. We'll come back to it. There we go. And the top of the rooftops are red on the house. The houses. That's okay if it bleeds in there because it's just red on red. A little bit of precision there. A little bit. Let me go ahead and water this down a little bit. And blend it a little bit better. There we go. Alright, let's clean this brush and get some very, very, very light blue. Let's see if that's the color I want. Yeah, that looks good. Very light blue. We want that for the dark side of the white. A little bit of blue there. And again, we can blur it out a little bit. Let the water take it. Break it down a little bit. And we can do the same thing with the side of the house. Go. The other side of the house is lit. Alright, now we can take some of that dark watercolor and get this top part here. This very top. And a little bit of darkness down here in these windows. A little bit of orange up here. There we go. See if we get some green down here. Some of this grass. Roadway that goes up to the top of the platform. Okay. Let's get some of these rocks down here. Have the dark side of the rocks, and then we have all this light reflecting off of the side of the rocks. And then of course we're going to have some waves crashing up here too, I think. We'll see. We'll see if we pull that off or not. I might not be able to pull that off on this one. we can always add some brown to that to make it look more like stones. Speaking of brown, I'm going to add a little bit of brown, I think. A little bit of darkness to this side of the lighthouse, to the red side, to the dark side of the reds. A little bit more intense, the shadow. Same with the houses. A little darker. Yeah, it has that effect of being lit from the side. Kind of like that. Put a little window over there. Now let's add some of the darker grays to the sky. Some of these dark blues here. Some of these waves here. Okay, I think it's ready to be folded, made into a card, and another rough sea painting. Something for somebody who likes lighthouses. Alright, I know I didn't talk much in this one. Hope you're okay with that, but I think I was more intense on trying to figure out how to do this one. Not really sure what to tell you when I'm doing it, when I don't know what I'm doing myself. So that's probably the reason. Alright, well, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.